The Bugatti Chiron is just a car. That's the thing to remember. Just a car, like any other, 4 wheels, some seats and a tank of petrol. It's just that the Bugatti Chiron happens to be a car that's able to do what, exactly? Well, some numbers, if I may. The official figure says the Chiron is able to do 420 km per hour, or 261 miles per hour, but that's misleading because it is both electronically limited and slower than the old Bugatti Veyron Super Sport was when that became the world's fastest production car at 267.8 miles per hour that had a mere 1183 bhp. The new Chiron has 1479 bhp to be getting on with. So it ought to go rather faster than the Veyron. Which means that, when Bugatti goes back to the Volkswagen Group's Euraleschian test track with the Chiron next year, to tell us exactly how fast it'll go, it'll be a bigger number than that official figure. Bigger than the Veyron Super Sport's number, Durheimer says, by a notable amount, although nobody at Bugatti yet cares to speculate how fast that might be. If it were 10% faster, and with 50% more power, that's not unreasonable, that it'd be 295 miles per hour. But it's important because everything else you read about the Chiron here has to be tempered by that fact. A car defined by massive numbers is at once constrained and liberated by that singular top speed. It dominates yet compromises its character. Yes, it's just a car. But it's one that'll do 275 miles per hour. And that entirely defines what it is like. It means, for a start, that when they tell you about it, you stand there and they begin to hand you parts and show you graphs. The pursuit of such a big number is so obsessive that it is easy to get lost in the details. I would need hundreds of pages and minutes to tell you everything, but the short of it is this: the Chiron is a carbon fiber tugged two-seater with conventionally opening doors. It has an 8.0-liter, 16-cylinder engine in a W configuration, which means 4 banks of 4 cylinders around a common crankshaft, the upper 2 banks with a 90 deg V between them, and the lower 2 another 15 deg each side of those. There are 4 turbos, 2 of which are blowing all the time and fed by 8 exhausts apiece, to minimize what would otherwise be unimaginable lag. The other 2 are valved, to drop in and out depending on throttle position and rev range, and when they're on, each of the 4 turbos is powered by 4 exhausts. Bugatti set out to sell 450 Veyrons, and after painting some of them like Ming vases and by getting pianists to put their name to others, eventually it got through them all, but it didn't make a bean in the process. This time, Durheimer says, it knows what it's doing, so already 250 Chirons are sold and he's confident of selling the rest. In 2 years' time, he'll have to go back to the VW Group board and pitch for a replacement. Visibility is pretty average but ergonomics are otherwise straight out of the VW Group handbook. So you thumb the starter like you might in an Audi and the engine fires to a voluble but, from a cylinder count perspective, indistinct cacophony, and it is ready. Foot on brake, pull gear lever back to D, away you go. Everything is where you expect it to be. You could be in a VW Golf, a 1479 bhp, 8.0-liter, 2-meter wide Golf that can do 275 miles per hour or thereabouts, but a Golf nonetheless. I mean that in a flattering way. It's a remarkable achievement. The truth is that the road testing part of the experience doesn't take very long. Not when, despite Bugatti's assurances that we could test the Chiron properly, it presented us with a vehicle with the top speed of 261 miles per hour on roads with a maximum limit of 75 miles per hour and reminded us we were responsible for our own licenses. I have no idea what the inside of a Portuguese prison looks like and no particular desire to find out, but if I look over my shoulder and whisper, there are things I can tell you.